I still can't drive at night. It's been 8 months and I still can't do it. People ask me why I sold my car, why I moved closer to work, why I flinch when I see headlights in my rearview mirror. I tell them I'm trying to be more environmentally conscious. I tell them parking downtown is expensive. I tell them anything except the truth. Because the truth sounds insane. It was late October, around 11 p.m. I was driving back from my sister's place in Bakersfield to Los Angeles, a drive I'd done maybe 50 times before. Just me, an empty highway, and that specific kind of darkness you only get in the middle of nowhere, California, where the stars are bright, but everything else is just black. Before we continue this terrifying story, please hit that subscribe button right now, like this video, and comment below where you are watching from and what time it is in your country. Now, let's continue. I'd been on the road for about an hour when I noticed the pickup truck behind me. White, older model, maybe a Ford. Nothing unusual. Plenty of people use that stretch of highway. But after about 10 miles, it was still there. Same distance. Never getting closer, never falling back. I told myself I was being paranoid. Highways only go one direction. Of course, someone might be behind me for a while. Then I changed lanes. The truck changed lanes. I moved back to the right lane. 30 seconds later, so did the truck. I checked my speedometer. I was going 73. I slowed down to 65. The truck slowed down. I sped up to 80. The truck sped up. My hands started sweating on the steering wheel. I tried to get a look at the driver, but the headlights were too bright in my mirror. Just white light and the dark silhouette of a truck grill. I couldn't see a face. Couldn't see anything. Okay, I thought. Okay. There's a rest stop in about 15 miles. I'll pull off there. They'll keep going. This is just a coincidence. Those 15 miles felt like an hour. When I finally saw the rest stop sign, my heart was hammering so hard I could feel it in my throat. I put on my blinker way too early, probably half a mile before the exit. And I watched my rearview mirror. The truck put on its blinker too. I almost kept driving. Almost blew past the exit and stayed on the highway. But I convinced myself I was overreacting. People stop at rest stops. That's what they're for. This didn't mean anything. The rest stop was nearly empty. Just one semi-truck parked at the far end with its lights off. Probably a driver sleeping in the cab. The main building was closed, but the bathrooms were still accessible, lit by those harsh fluorescent lights that buzz and flicker. I pulled into a spot near the entrance. The pickup truck drove slowly past me and parked 5 spaces away. Not right next to me, which somehow made it worse. Just close enough. I sat there with my engine running, watching the truck in my side mirror. The headlights turned off. Nobody got out. I waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes. The truck just sat there, dark and silent. Maybe I should have left right then. But I'd been holding it for the last 30 miles, and I actually thought, if I go inside, use the bathroom, maybe they'll be gone when I come back out. Maybe this is nothing. Maybe I'm losing my mind over nothing. I got out of my car. The air was cold, and the only sound was the distant hum of the highway and my footsteps on the pavement. I didn't look at the truck. I walked straight to the bathroom entrance, pushed open the heavy metal door, and went inside. The bathroom was empty. Fluorescent lights flickering overhead, that smell of industrial cleaner and something sour underneath. 3 stalls, 2 sinks, everything painted that specific shade of beige that only exists in public restrooms. I went into the middle stall, locked the door, and stood there for a second, trying to breathe normally. I could hear my pulse in my ears. That's when I heard the main door open. Footsteps, heavy boots on tile. They stopped. I held my breath. Then I heard the person walk to the sinks. Water running, the squeak of the paper towel dispenser. Normal sounds, reasonable sounds. But they didn't leave. I could see the shadow of their feet under the stall door. Work boots. They were just standing there, by the sinks, not moving. I don't know how long we stayed like that. Me frozen in the stall, them standing by the sinks. It felt like forever. Finally, I heard them walk toward the door, and it opened and closed. I waited another 30 seconds, then came out. The bathroom was empty. I splashed water on my face, told myself I was being ridiculous, and headed back outside. The pickup truck was gone. Relief flooded through me so fast I almost laughed. See? Nothing. Just someone stopping at a rest stop, same as me. I got back in my car, locked the doors, and pulled back onto the highway. For about 10 minutes, I felt stupid. Paranoid. I'd worked myself up over absolutely nothing. Then I saw the headlights again in my rearview mirror. The same truck, same distance behind me, like it had been waiting. My stomach dropped. I pressed harder on the gas, 85, 90. The truck kept pace. I grabbed my phone to call 911, but there was no signal out there. Just empty bars on the screen and that endless dark highway. Ahead, I saw an exit sign. Some small town I'd never heard of. Kettleman City, population 1,500. The exit was coming up in 2 miles. I could pull off, find people, find help. But what if the truck followed me into town? What if it wasn't safer there? What if it was worse? I had this horrible thought. What if they were hurting me? What if they wanted me to take that exit? I stayed on the highway. Wrong choice. About 5 miles later, the truck suddenly accelerated. It pulled up right behind me, close enough that all I could see was the glare of its headlights. Then it moved into the left lane, pulling up beside me. I didn't want to look. Every instinct screamed not to look. But I looked. The driver was staring at me. I couldn't make out features, just a pale face turned in my direction, watching me. Not smiling, not angry, just watching. Then the truck swerved toward me. I jerked the wheel right, and my tires hit the rumble strip on the shoulder. My car shook violently. I overcorrected, swerving back onto the road, heart exploding in my chest. The truck fell back behind me again. I was crying now. Actually crying. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely hold the wheel. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't outrun them. I couldn't call anyone. The highway stretched on forever, empty and dark. Then, ahead in the distance, I saw lights. A gas station, civilization. I pushed the car as hard as it would go. The lights got closer. A 76 station, old but open, with a pickup truck and a sedan parked by the pumps. People. There were people there. I pulled into the lot so fast I almost hit the curb. I threw the car into park and ran toward the building. Behind me, I heard another vehicle pull in. Inside, there was a tired-looking attendant behind bulletproof glass and a couple of truckers buying coffee. I must have looked insane, tears on my face, gasping for air. "Someone's following me," I said. "A white truck. They've been following me for miles. They tried to..." The attendant looked past me toward the door. "That truck?" I turned around. Through the window, I could see the white pickup truck parked at the far end of the lot. The driver's door was open, but I couldn't see anyone inside. The dome light was on, illuminating an empty cab. "Where did they go?" I asked. Nobody answered. One of the truckers walked to the window, looked out. I don't see anybody. They were just there. They followed me. You want me to call the cops? The attendant asked, not unkindly. I looked back at the truck. Still empty. Still silent. What would I even tell the police? Someone drove behind me on a public highway. Someone parked at the same rest stop. Someone pulled into the same gas station. I'm calling them, the attendant said, reaching for the phone. No, I said quickly. No, it's okay. I'm okay. I wasn't okay. I waited at that gas station for 45 minutes. Bought a coffee I didn't drink. Watched the white truck through the window. Nobody ever got back in it. Nobody came or went. It just sat there, empty, under the fluorescent lights. Eventually, I couldn't stand it anymore. I got back in my car, locked every door, and pulled back onto the highway. The white truck stayed at the gas station. I drove the rest of the way to LA going 95 miles an hour, checking my mirrors every 10 seconds. Nothing followed me. When I finally got home, I sat in my parked car for 20 minutes, making sure no headlights appeared on my street. Here's the thing, though. The thing I can't stop thinking about. 2 weeks later, I got a notification from my insurance company. Someone had filed a claim against my policy. For a hit and run, they said I'd sideswiped their vehicle on Highway 5 at approximately 12:47 a.m. on October 23rd. The vehicle was listed as a white Ford pickup truck. I never touched that truck. I know I didn't. But there's a scrape along the side of my car that wasn't there before, and I don't remember how it got there. I sold the car a week later. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder if any of it happened the way I remember. If the truck was following me, or if I was following it. If I was running from something, or if I was the thing someone else was trying to run from. I don't drive at night anymore, and I never take Highway 5.